Hello dear students, welcome to Naresh IT. Today I just want to discuss about 2020 TS ICET and AP ICET examination pattern and the detailed syllabus of it. So ICET examination is basically for the students who are planning to enter into MBA or MCA through state level. That means in Telangana state it will be one examination called TS ICET. In Andhra it will be AP ICET. So this video is going to give a clear details about the syllabus which is available in TS ICET and at the same time the topics and the model questions which are there in each and every module. So basically TS ICET examination, the important dates for this year, if you observe, the online application form will start from April 1st week, March 1st week of 2020 and admit card will be available from the first week of May. Examination mostly conducted on May 20 and 21st of this year and announcement result will be third week of the June and your TS ICET and AP ICET counseling will start from mostly June in 2020. AP ICET examination is going to be conducted in April itself. You are going to have the exam on April 23rd and 24th mostly. So actually the category of the exam, if you observe the TS ICET or AP ICET examination is for the students who want to plan for the post graduation. So post graduation is nothing but MBA or MCA and the examination type is, this is a state level exam and it is conducted yearly only once and the purpose of this test is going to be admission in B schools or admission in MBA and admission in MCA and the exam duration is going to be 150 minutes. And the type of questions which you are going to see is going to be multiple choice questions. And in this 150 minutes, the most challenging part here is you have to crack 200 questions in the exam and these 200 questions you have to crack in the period of 150 minutes. That means you have less than 1 minute of time to crack one question in the examination. If you look at the examination pattern, so TS ICET overall will be conducted for 200 questions. Overall the examination is conducted for 200 questions. Out of the 200 questions, the first 75 questions are going to be covered from the section called analytical ability. 75 questions are given from analytical ability, 75 questions are given from mathematical ability and 50 questions are given from communication ability. Altogether 75 plus 75 150, 150 plus 50 it is going to be 200 questions. And what is there in the 75 analytical ability section is you are going to have 20 questions which are given from data sufficiency model and you are going to have 55 questions which are from the problem solving ability. Problem solving ability is nothing but you are going to see the questions where odd man out, analogy, coding and decoding and the questions which are based on data analysis and the questions which are based on arrival and departure kind of questions. So those are all together 50 questions plus 25 questions, you are going to see 75 questions in the exam. And the aspirants who are planning for ICET in 2020, so I suggest prepare more from analytical ability. Analytical ability is a scoring subject. By taking less period of time, you can mark more questions in analytical ability only. So analytical ability is the easiest section and you can score more in analytical ability. You can able to secure if you prepare well and follow our videos which are coming in the next. So we are going to make the videos on all the topics by discussing the previous questions which are given in the ICET paper, so that you just follow those videos, you will be able to get less than 1000 rank in 2020 if you follow us. So if you look at the data sufficiency is 20 and 55 questions from problem solving ability, and if you look at mathematical ability, there are 75 questions given from mathematical ability. Out of these 75 questions, 35 questions are covered from arithmetic module and 30 questions are covered from algebra plus geometry and 10 questions are covered from statistics. 35 plus 30, 65 plus 10, you are going to have 75 questions from mathematical ability. Similarly, in the communication ability, you will have 50 questions, but out of these 50 questions, 10 questions are given from the computer terminology and business terminology, because people will go for MCA and MBA. For the aspirants who are planning for MBA, they need to know some business terminology. Some aspirants who are planning for MCA, they need to know the computer terminology. So that is the reason both computer terminology and business terminology are given in the section and those are consisting of 10 marks. And remaining 40 marks are going to be covered from the remaining verbal part. And what is the verbal part is 10 questions are completely given from the vocabulary. So you have to know the meanings of the words, antonyms and synonyms. that will make a score of 10 marks, and you are going to have 15 questions from the functional grammar, and you are going to have another 15 questions from the reading comprehension. By giving 3 passages, each passage will carry 5 questions. You are going to see 3 passages, 3 into 5, total 15 marks will be there. So altogether 10 plus 10 plus 15 plus 15, altogether 50 questions and will be given from the verbal ability, communication ability. So the skill required for cracking MBA or MC exam, especially ICET examination, is you need to aware of aptitude and reasoning along with the basic communication ability, because the more weightage is there for aptitude and reasoning, 150 marks out of 200 marks, 150 marks out of 200 marks. That means 75% of the questions are going to come from only aptitude and reasoning. If you are good at aptitude and reasoning, you can perform well in aptitude and reasoning, I am sure you can secure a very good score in your ICET examination. And let me go in deeper with the syllabus. So the first section, analytical ability, out of the 75 questions which you are going to see in the analytical ability, the first 20 questions are given only from the module called data sufficiency. And what are the questions given from the data sufficiency, how to tackle the questions under data sufficiency, just have a glance. So in data sufficiency, they want to check a skill from you. What is the skill they are expecting is, they want to know what is your decision making skill and what is your critical ability thinking. So the questions of data sufficiency are projected in such a way that you are going to have a question along with some statements. What is your task is, you just need to check out whether you are able to solve that question, by using statement 1 or by using statement 2 or by using both the statements or not together also. That means only the thing is, you don't need to solve the question in data sufficiency. You just need to see the question, and after looking at the question, you just need to check out whether you are able to solve that question by using the statements or not is a thing which you need to tell. If you are able to realize that you are able to solve the question only from statement 1, then you can mark your answer choice as statement 1 alone is sufficient for solving the question. If you are able to realize that you can solve the question only by using statement 2, mark your answer choice as statement 2 alone is sufficient for solving the question. If you are able to realize that the question can be solved by using statement 1 and statement 2 together, then you can go for the answer choice as both 1 and 2 are sufficient. If you are able to realize that statement 1 and statement 2 together also not giving the answer, then go for the answer choice as both together also not sufficient for solving the question. So always for every question you are going to see 4 option choices, namely A, B, C, D, which I have mentioned in the previous as like this. So whenever you see any question of data sufficiency, I have taken one example to get more clarity on data sufficiency questions, and it is having 20 marks. So don't skip this module, and data sufficiency is going to cover all the questions of quant, all the topics of quant. You can expect pipes piston question, you can expect time and work question, you can expect trains questions, you can expect ratio question, the percentage question. That means before you are solving data sufficiency, you are aware of all the topics which are there in aptitude. Then you can feel comfortable in solving the questions of data sufficiency, but only the difference is in aptitude questions, percentages or profit loss or ratios, you have to solve the entire question to mark, and in this you no need to solve, you just need to check to solve what is required. If you know what is required to solve, then you can able to solve data sufficiency questions. Let's have the question number 1 on the screen. So if you look at the question here, what is the average of the numbers A1, A2, A3 and so on till A10? That's a question. I very well know that average is nothing but we can say average is equal to sum of the terms divided by number of the terms, sum of the terms divided by number of the terms. So in order to find out the average, I need to know sum and I need to know the number of terms. If I know sum and number of the terms, I can easily find out what is the average of those numbers. So here I have to find out the average of A1 to A10, that means I have to find out A1 plus A2 plus A3 and so on. I have to know till A9 plus A10, divided by total number of terms. How many terms we are able to see is, we are able to see 10 terms in the scenario. So to find this, what is required? A1 to A10 summation is required. Whether you are able to get that summation from the given statements or not is the thing which you need to check out. Let me have a glance on the statements which are given. The first statement is given, A1 plus A2 plus A3 plus A4 plus A4, A5 and so on till A9 is equal to A10. So by using only statement 1, can you tell the answer? A1 to A9, we have the summation which is equal to 10. So which is equal to 810, But to find the summation, what is required? A10 value is also required, but A10 value is not given. So by using statement 1, are you able to mark the answer? No. Statement 1 is not sufficient to solve the question. If statement 1 is not sufficient to solve the question, what you need to do? Eliminate the option 1. 1 alone is sufficient is a question, option number 1, that is not going to be correct. Eliminate that. Let's have a glance on the statement number 2. So statement number 2 is telling that A2, A3 and so on till A10 is 900. That means by observing statement number 2, what I can conclude is A2, A2, so I have the information about A2, A3, A4 and so on till A10, they given the information till A10, the values summation is given as 900. Value summation is given as 900. So in this also, because I don't know A1 value, I cannot find out the value. That means I can definitely say that statement 2 is not sufficient for solving the question. That means I can simply eliminate option B here. Now, have a glance on option number 1 and 2 together. Statement 1 and 2 together. Statement 1 is given from A1 to A9. Statement 2 is given from A2 to A10. Let me add these two values. So if you add these two values, what happens? A1 is there, A2 to, what are the common terms? A1 to A9, A2 to A10. What are the common terms? 2 to 9 is a common terms. So if you add these two, what you are going to get is A1 plus 2 times of A2 to A9 plus A10 is equal to the sum of 810 plus 900. Using this, can we get the answer? So I cannot get the answer because I just need the summation of A1 to A10. So I am unable to get the summation of A1 to A10 even by merging these two statements, by using these two statements. That means definitely my answer choice must be option D, that is nothing but statement 1, statement 2 together is also not sufficient for solving the question. Let's have a glance on one more pattern. So these questions you are going to see 20 in the exam. Look at one more type. So there is a one more topic, that is nothing but questions which are given under sequence and series. How to tackle the questions which are based on sequence and series? So sequence and series is nothing but you are going to have a pattern of letter series and number series. You are going to have 10 questions from the letter series and number series. Higher weightage, so 10 questions you can easily crack. Why? Because you are going to have only these type of questions. Either they are going to ask you to find out what is the next term in the sequence, or they are going to ask you to find out what is a missing term in the sequence. So finding next term and missing term is a task which you are going to have when you are solving the questions which are based on sequence and series. So in this type of question, what we need to understand is understand the pattern and observe what can be the next term. So for example, if it is given as 2e, 3j, 5o, 70, what can be the next term? By observing these numbers, these variables, so this is e, 2e, 3j, 5o, 70, what can be the question mark value? So by observing this alphabets, I am able to see E. E means what is E? E position is going to be 5. I am able to see the next alphabet as J. What is J? J is 10. What is O? O is 15. What is T? T is 20. Are you able to see any pattern here? Yes, we are able to see a pattern. So 5 becomes 10, 10 becomes 15, 15 becomes 20, 20 becomes 25. Increase is 5. So 25 means what? The answer must have an alphabet as Y, because 25th alphabet is Y. Now please have a glance on the numbers which are given. This is 2, this is 3, this is 5, this is 7. What are these numbers? These numbers are prime numbers. So don't think that these are odd numbers. 2 is not an odd number. 2 is a prime number, 3 is a prime number, 5 is a prime number, 7 is a prime number. What is the next prime number? 9 is not a prime. Next prime number is 11. Mark the answer as 11Y. Mark the answer as 11Y, which is available as option C for us. So like that, number series and letter series questions are given. So mostly you have to find out what is the next term in the pattern. So just observe the pattern which is followed and you can able to make the answer choice. So there are 10 questions given from the sequence and series. Moving forward to the one more type. You are going to have another 10 questions in the exam. Another 10 questions in the exam from the concept called analogy. So in analogy, you are going to see two pairs. The first pair is called a reference pair. You have to understand what is the logic in the reference pair. Use the same logic in order to get the unknown pair. So that means in analogy questions, one is a standard pair, the one is an unknown pair. You have to look at the standard pair and you have to understand what is the logic available in the standard pair. The same logic you have to execute in order to get the answer for the unknown pair. So for example, the question which is given here is D, W, K dash. So I'm trying to understand, this is called a standard pair. Standard pair is nothing but this, which is having entire values. This is called an unknown pair. So I'm trying to use this standard pair and trying to understand what is the logic available in the standard pair. What is D position? D position is 4. What is W position? W is nothing but, we can say this is going to be 23. So what is K and what is this is a question. What I'm trying to understand here is, so I'm trying to look at them as like this: A, B, C, D. D is a 4th position. Similarly, U, V, W, X, Y, Z. If you observe, D is the 4th alphabet from the starting and W is the 4th alphabet from the last. And there is always a relation which you can use. If you take nth alphabet from the starting and nth alphabet from the last, the sum of those two is always equal to 27. That means, just understand, for example, if I say what is the first alphabet from the starting, that is A. What is the last alphabet, that is Z. What is A value? 1, Z value 26. What is 1 plus 26? That is 27. Even. What is the second alphabet from the starting? B. What is the second alphabet from the last? Y. What is B? 2. What is Y? 25. That means sum of the nth alphabet from the starting and nth alphabet from the last is always equal to 27. So I very well know that K is going to be 11. How much I need to add to make it 27? That is 16. What is 16th alphabet? That is P. Mark your answer choice as P. Mark your answer choice as P, which is available as option C. Look at the next pattern question. You are going to have 5 questions which are given from odd man out. What is odd man out is, the name itself is indicating that pick the element which is showing a different property from the others, that will be treated as an odd man out question. So in this type of question, you just need to observe the options which are given. 4 options are given. Among the 4 options, one option is showing a different property when it compares to all other, that we have to pick. If you observe, the options are given: rose, lily, orange and jasmine. It was very clear, rose and lily and jasmine are related to flower category, but orange is not related to flower category. Orange is a fruit category. So you can pick your answer choice as option C. You may have the numbers, you might have variables, you might have words, but only the agenda is, in odd man out questions, you have to pick the element which is showing a different property when it compares to the others. Look at the next type question. You are going to have another 10 questions which are covered from data analysis. What is data analysis? Data analysis is nothing but data interpretation questions. Data analysis, name itself is indicating data analysis. We have to analyze the data. Why analyzing the data is required? Because data is not given directly to you. Data will be given in the form of a pie graphs or line graphs or bar graphs or tables. Because the data is given indirectly, you have to analyze the data. And after analyzing the data, there are linked questions. 5 linked questions are given to one particular data. You are going to see 2 sets here. The first set is having a question, either it is a bar graph or pie graph or anything. You have 5 questions, and the second set is also one more graph and 5 questions. 2 sets together, 10 questions. So each and every set you can able to tackle it very well. So each and every set will have the questions of 5, and all the 5 questions are going to be covered from the basic calculations which you have seen in arithmetic. The questions definitely given from percentages, ratios, averages and basic nature of the graph. These are the only 4 possible questions anybody can give from the data analysis. So either it is a pie graph or line graph. So extra skill required is, you have to analyze the data, because data is not directly given. That's the only the thing. And moving forward to the next module which you are going to see, that is 10 questions are going to be given from the coding and decoding. And in these 10 questions, 5 questions are the individual questions mostly, and the 5 questions are given with a paragraph. So if individual questions, you can look at the logic and proceed, and paragraph questions, most of the students are facing difficulty when they are solving the questions which are related to paragraph. And paragraph question is an important pattern in ICET, and in ICET examination especially these paragraph questions are given. And just observe how the paragraph questions, one paragraph is given with some set of instructions. Using those instructions, we have to solve the questions which are given below. Look at a very simple question which is given in the previous ICET paper. 2017 TS ICET has given this question. So in a code, nth letter in the English alphabet is coded as rth letter of it. If R indicates the remainder when 3n plus 2 is divided by 26, what is the code for Telangana is a question. What is the code for Telangana is a question. So what I am trying to do is, I am trying to understand nth letter is coded as a rth letter, where r indicates 3n plus 2 divided by 26. Whatever nth letter is there, nth letter is coded as a rth letter. What is r indicates? R indicates 3n plus 2 divided by 26. Observe your reminder, that reminder is indicating the r value. Let's assume, for example, you have a letter called A. So what is the position of A? How A is coded? Just have a glance. What is the position of A? A is nothing but 1. A is coded as what? I am trying to check out. So if it is 1, how you need to take n value is 1, that you have to substitute here. 3 into 1, 3 into 1 plus 2 divided by 26. What is 3 plus 2? That is going to be 5. 5 by 26, what is the remainder? 5 by 26, remember, if you see any smaller number by bigger number, remainder is smaller number itself. If I see 4 by 26, mark 4 is a remainder. 5 by 26, what is the remainder? 5 itself. What is fifth alphabet? That is E. That means the code for A is going to be E. So that is the code, that is the logic which we need to understand. So here A is a last letter which you are able to see in Telangana, that should be E. That means definitely option C is not a correct answer choice, because that is ending with R. And even by looking at the other A's, so the fourth letter must be E, fourth letter must be E. By looking at that, fourth letter is R in the option 1, that is also eliminated. Answer can be either 1, either B, or going to be D. For that, what I am trying to observe is, I am trying to observe what is the fourth letter from the last, because that is differs. Here fourth letter was G. How G is coded? Let's have a glance. So our logic is very simple. Nth letter in the alphabet is coded as a rth letter, where R indicates 3n plus 2 divided by 26. 3n plus 2 divided by 26 remainder. So I am trying to find out what is a code for G. What is the alphabet position G? G is nothing but 7th. That means we can say n value is 7. How it is coded? I am trying to check out. So if it is 7, 7 into 3, that is 21, substitute here, 7 into 3, that is 21, 21 plus 2 divided by 26. What is 21 plus 2? That is 23. What is 23 by 26 remainder? 23 itself. What is 23? That is W. That means that need to be coded as W, eliminate B, mark the answer as D. Like that, all the 5 questions will be given with the same logic. So once you understand this set of instructions properly, you are able to make the answer choices easily. And next, finally, you are going to see the last section, last module in analytical ability. That is nothing but you are going to have 10 questions by covering date and time, clocks and calendars, and arrangement problems, and train arrival and departure questions. And sometimes you can see one question from blood relation, one question from seating arrangement. So mostly this section is a miscellaneous section. One question is going to come from clocks, one question is from calendars, one question from blood relations, one question from seating arrangement, easy level, one question from arrival and departure, one question from funky function. So overall, you are going to see 10 questions in this last module. So that means altogether summarizing, if you look at entire analytical ability section, out of the 75 questions which you are going to see in analytical ability, the first 20 questions are going to cover from the data sufficiency, and 10 questions are going to given from the sequence and series, and 10 questions are going to come from analogy, and 5 questions are going to come from odd man out, and 10 questions are going to come from data analysis, and 10 questions are going to come from coding and decoding, and 10 questions are going to come from the chapter called miscellaneous date and time arrivals. So altogether you are going to have 75 questions from the analytical ability, and it is a scoring subject. So don't skip the analytical ability. And moving forward to the next section which you are going to see in the ICET examination, that is nothing but mathematical ability. So in mathematical ability, you are going to have 3 modules. The first module is nothing but arithmetic. In arithmetic, you are going to have 35 questions, higher weightage is arithmetic. And what are the things which you are going to have in arithmetic is basically going to cover the questions from profit and loss, percentages, ratios, partnership, time and work, pipes and system, trains, areas and volume based questions, and with the figures and shapes. All these 3 together, you are going to have overall 35 questions. Just have a glance how a very simple question is given as like this. If the radius of a circle is increased by 20%, find the percentage increase in area of the circle. So that means the question is related to percentages topic. So they just mentioned that the radius of a circle is increased by 20. They are asking me to find out what is the percentage change in area. What is area formula? Area is nothing but pi r square. Area of the circle is given as pi r square. Pi is anyways constant, r is multiplied for 2 times, r into r. What is happening? Radius is increased by 20%. So, if radius is increased by 20%, initial radius is increased by 20%. If anything is increased by 20%, that will become 120%. That means radius is 120%. And what is the impact on area? Area is actually radius into radius, 120 into 120. So, percentage you keep it as it is, 1% will be cancelled with 2 zeros. What is 12 into 12? It is 144%. Pi is anyways constant, there is no impact on area because of this. That means radius, if it is increased by 20%, 12 into 12, 144% is the increase in area. 144% is a final area, means if final area is 144%, the increase in area is only 44%. So you can mark your answer choice as option C. Look at the next one. You are going to see the other module which is called as a algebra and as well as geometry. So in this you are going to have a questions most likely sets and functions and coordinate geometry and trigonometry and heights and distances and progressions and geometry questions and lines and angles and triangles and circles. So how the questions are projected, just if you have a glance on the question, if L1 and L2 are the parallel lines, then what is the value of x is a question. So L1 and L2 are the parallel lines. Whenever the two lines are parallel, angles are going to be equal, corresponding angles. This is going to be x. If this is x, this is a straight line. Sum of all angles on the straight line will be 180 degrees. 2x plus x is nothing but 3x. 3x is equal to 180 degrees. From this I can say x value is going to be 60 degrees. So you can mark your answer as C. This is a geometry based question. You can also see algebra questions based on the same. And last 10 questions are going to be covered from the statistical ability, where statistical ability is nothing but you are going to have a questions, 5 questions from the probability and 5 questions which are covering from mean, mode, median and range. Altogether 10 questions are given from the statistics. And finally 50 questions from the communication ability, as I told you in the previous. So out of these 50 questions, 10 questions are given from the computer and business terminology, and remaining 40 questions are covered from the verbal ability. Out of the 40 questions, 10 questions from the vocabulary, 15 questions from the grammar and 15 questions from the passages. So 15 questions from the passages. So all these together you are going to see in the eyesight examination. Thank you so much, and please subscribe our YouTube channel. We are going to keep upload more videos on eyesight examination which are given in the previous papers. On topic wise, we are going to upload all the videos which are based on previous papers. Thank you so much.